Allow us now to dig a little bit more deeply into the idea of the first level of mastery in becoming a cryptic. And this will necessitate that those that are excited and passionate about taking that path and really beginning to understand how to get into that first level of mastery, you're going to need to spend a lot more time among the trees, out in nature. And the first thing to do is to find a tree that attracts you. Now, first and foremost, remember that the idea of the redwoods and the pines and those kinds of trees are the ambassadors of the plant kingdom to your world, to your human beings. So you can find them, but you can also find a tree that works for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a redwood or a pine, but they are the ones who are tasked in that sense among themselves with communing and communicating with the different animal kingdoms as ambassadors and as delegates in that way. Nevertheless, find the tree that works for you, and the more natural, the better. The more you can lose yourself and be surrounded by the trees, the better. Now, the first thing to do is understand, it's very important that we understand that you may have to go to another place on your planet to do this if you're not finding the correct scenario in your particular area. It is very important in this first level of mastery and in this first stage that you go and find a tree that attracts you that is in some way, shape, or form within earshot or within sight of a stream or a brook or a river. Running water is very important for this first step. Where you are in an area where the trees have the ability to drink deeply of this water that is nearby and flowing through them. Because what you're going to be doing in this first stage of becoming a cryptic and the first level of mastery is you're going to be sitting between the tree and the river. Position yourself somewhere where you are comfortable, going out in nature in this way, with the tree at your back and the river in front of you, whatever stream it may be, that you can hear the water burbling along in some way, shape, or form. And with your back to the tree, whether you're actually leaning against it or not, doesn't matter, but with your back to the tree and the river in front of you, you're going to allow yourself to be quiet for a moment, and you're going to allow yourself to hear the wind in the leaves and the branches of the tree and rustling them gently and softly, or perhaps a little bit more strongly, depending upon the wind of the day. And you're going to allow that sound of the wind through the tree and the grove in which you are ensconced and the sound of the river and the water and the babbling of the brook to begin to mingle together in the center point that you have positioned yourself in. And as you begin to sit there in that meditative and open state, as you begin to hear and blend the sound of the trees and the rustling of the leaves and the wind and the babbling of the brook or the rushing of the waters, then there is going to be, in that center point within you, as you blend these things together in your imagination, a third sound that you will introduce into that. And that third sound, whether you can actually literally physically hear it or not, doesn't matter, you can imagine it, will be the sound of your beating heart. So as you sit there and become calm, and you hear the wind through the trees and the babbling of the brook, then you bring into that orchestration the beating of your heart that is calm and rhythmic, along with the sound of your breath. So you are producing two sounds, the tree and the brook are producing two sounds, and now you have this quatrain, you have this quadrant, you have this four-corner sound that you are creating, that you yourself with your breath are mimicking the wind through the trees, and you yourself with the beating of your heart are mimicking the babbling of the brook as the water cascades over the pebbles and the rocks. And you are then exemplifying and reflecting those two sounds within yourself and bringing that all together in a beautiful symphony within yourself in that way. And allow yourself to experience this for no less than 15 of your minutes, so that in those 15 of your minutes, your brain will start to entrain to those sounds, to that state of being, and will begin to rewire your brain to accept in and receive and allow you to become a better antenna for communication from the trees, for communication from the water, for communication from your heart, for communication from your breath, blending them all together into one beautiful sound, one beautiful song, and just sit with that and allow it to sink in. So that when you decide then to get up and begin to take a journey through the forest, you will bring that tone, you will bring that sound, you will bring that symphony with you and carry that with you, no matter where you are from that point forward. It will create a specific state for you that will allow you more affinity with nature. This is the first step. It is the step that I have gone through. It is the step that all cryptics go through, and it will bring you into not only more communion with nature in that way as the first step on that journey, but it will also, because time is irrelevant, begin to bond you with all cryptics, including myself. For we will reinforce that for you, for we are of a kind, and we know no matter whether upline or downline, where and when you are, we will be there for you energetically, in soul and spirit, reinforcing and magnifying and amplifying your ability to connect into our stream of consciousness so that you yourself may understand what it means to be a cryptic in the first level of mastery. You have just begun this journey for those who are passionate about doing so. And then we're not in any way, shape, or form implying that all of you have to be. But for those to whom you gravitate in this vibration, in this state of being, we welcome you into this world and into this reality that is the world of the cryptic, for it is quite magical and many, many more things can happen in this world. You have just begun this journey.